We have been told this over and over again, that weight loss will make you healthier, but that is not always the case. And what do I mean by that? Well, there are actually cases where weight loss can actually make you fatter. Yes, fatter. And what does that mean? Well, instead of making you healthy, it's going to make you unhealthy. So today I'm here to talk to you about how and why that can actually happen and how you can lose weight the right way without getting fatter. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name is Regan and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. I love this topic so much because as a personal trainer, this is the hardest topic to actually communicate to people. Most people on a weight loss journey just focus on the number on that scale. And I know it's really hard to say when your doctor has told you you need to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds. They don't really focus on how you do it. And if you do it the wrong way, you'll actually make your body more unhealthy. You may be possibly digging yourself a deeper hole or just going in the wrong direction in general. And I know this is just mind-blowing to so many people. It raises so many questions when the number on the scale is going down, but your body composition is actually getting worse. And that's really what we're talking about here, changing your body composition and not focusing as much on the number on the scale. And maybe you are on a weight loss journey right now and you've been watching that scale go down and you're restricting calories and cutting out certain foods and working really, really hard to watch that number go down. And there are better ways to do it and ways that will be a lifestyle change so you're not focusing on that number over and over again. There are numbers you can focus on, but the number on the scale is not one of them. And also maybe those of you out there are watching this and you're like, oh no, but I've been so good. I've been so disciplined. I'm really sticking to this diet that I want to be on and I'm watching the number on the scale go down. And it is hard. It is hard to stay disciplined. So I congratulate you for doing that, but let's make sure you are not digging deeper into that hole. So this gets really difficult as a trainer because so many people are taught these restrictive ways to lose weight. If you're in your 40s, 50s, beyond, those old school ways of losing weight, yes, they will work, but it is not the way to do it. I ran into a friend the other day that I hadn't seen in a long time, and we got to talking and she had lost, I think she said like 20 some pounds. Amazing, hard to do. But she was disciplined and she was doing it on the restrictive diet, weighing herself every day. And she said, I'm so happy because I am at the weight I was in high school. But here's the big difference. If you lose weight the wrong way and you get to that goal that you've been striving for, and it was maybe when you were a much younger age, chances are your body composition is nowhere near where it used to be. So just losing the weight is not the best thing for your body. So it's really difficult to talk to someone about the fact that they might be doing more harm than good. Because I know when people are determined to lose weight and they have lost weight in the past, they put those blinders on and they do it the way they have done it in the past. And I know some people are driven by going to the doctor and seeing on a chart that maybe they're obese. And so the doctors usually will just say, lose the weight. And a lot of people will do whatever it takes to just get that weight off. And so people just get hyper focused on that number on the scale and just trying to lose that weight. Now, let me throw out a quick disclaimer. My degree's in exercise physiology with a strong emphasis on nutrition. I'm also in a master's program for health sciences and nutrition, but I am not a dietitian and I am definitely not a doctor. So everything I'm telling you today, I would always check with a dietitian first before starting any new sort of program when it comes to your diet. And I know I mentioned that this can be hard on trainers, and it definitely can be, because the other thing is, even though people might be losing weight the wrong way, mentally they start to feel great. They start to feel really proud of themselves. They may think they have more energy. So that just makes it harder as a trainer to help them with that little mind shift and to try to do things a different way. So it does make it so difficult, because people will think they're heading in the right direction, but what they're actually doing is making it more challenging for themselves now and actually into the future. So let's talk about that number on the scale. All it is measuring for you is your weight. It depends on what kind of scale you have, but for many people out there, they're just hyper focused on that number on the scale. So it doesn't take into account everything that goes into that number. It's just the weight. If you put an apple on a scale, it's going to give you the weight of the apple, but it's not going to exactly tell you what is in that apple and what that weight consists of. And that's one of the main reasons why we don't want to just focus on the number on the scale, because we're trying to change your body composition, not just drop that number on the scale. So weight literally just measures mass, but it doesn't measure what all that mass consists of. So all of this stuff that I'm trying to tell you is actually further clouded by what's called BMI. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe your doctor has shown you the chart, but BMI is Body Mass Index. The BMI chart was put out decades ago, but it's still being used today, mostly in doctors' offices. So all this does is it measures your height against your weight, and then it puts you somewhere in the category of where your body mass index is. And it puts you in a category: healthy, overweight, obese, extremely obese. So the BMI chart is just a really simple, fast way to categorize people as healthy or unhealthy. And this became the standard for so long. I can say that the BMI chart can be a little bit accurate for someone who's obese or extremely obese. But for everyone else, it doesn't take into account your body composition. The medical community is always looking for simple metrics that are easy to apply, and the BMI chart fits that description. So the next time your provider whips out the BMI chart, say, hey, can we measure my body fat instead? Let's talk about muscle for a second, because you know that's where we're heading. Muscle has been linked to longevity, lower insulin resistance levels, and type 2 diabetes, and a host of other things. So muscle is super protective for your body, and having little muscle is connected with degenerative diseases and just a host of other things that you just don't want. Muscle has to be a big component when it comes to your percentages. So if you take two people that are the same weight and the same height, and one has a body fat that's 10 to 15% higher than the other, when you look at them, they will look radically different. Their body types will look completely different, even though they weigh the same and they're the same height. So I tell people that they can lose 20 pounds and then actually have a higher body fat percentage than before they started. They're shocked, but it can happen. So your body fat is just a percentage of what your body weight is. So if you lose weight and 30, 40, 50% of it comes from muscle, you are worse off. And why is that? Well, your body fat percentage is higher now because you've lost some of your muscle, many times a very significant amount of that muscle. And this is actually a much easier way to lose weight than to lose your weight by losing body fat. And I'm not saying all of you people out there that losing weight is easy. It's not, but it is easier than losing what you really want to lose, which is the body fat. It's easier to lose muscle than to lose fat. You're worse off because your body fat percentage is now higher. So this can be hard to do. Maintain your muscle mass and lose weight because you want that weight to come from fat. And yep, it's a little bit harder, but it can be done. And in the long run, you're gonna keep your metabolism intact and it'll be a whole lifestyle change. You won't have to worry about weight loss ever again. So there truly is a sweet spot for everybody. Everyone has a different sweet spot when it comes to strength training, cardiovascular training, caloric deficit, all these things that come into play when you want to lose fat instead of muscle. So there's so many diet programs out there, and actually some trainers that probably still train this old school way, and it's really, really misleading because you're watching the number on the scale go down, but you probably have no idea what your body fat percentage is. And one of the other reasons this can be kind of misleading is when you do lose weight, even the wrong way, when you're losing muscle, initially you might feel like you have more energy, you're not carrying around as much body weight, so maybe your joints feel better. So mentally you probably feel a lot better because you're watching the number on the scale go down and that was your number one goal. But yeah, it can be misleading. So really it just comes down to if you lose weight the wrong way and you become fatter, you're changing your body composition towards the negative, and we want it towards the positive. Yep, it boils down to you're losing muscle. That's why there's so much controversy with the prescription meds like Ozempic, Wegovy, Rybelsus, because now people are using it for not what it was intended for. Originally it was intended for people that were high risk of type 2 diabetes or were already diabetic, or obese people at a high risk of heart disease, things like that. But now people are trying to use it, just to lose a few pounds. I'm gonna link a video up here about Ozempic, and I'll actually link one video up top about Ozempic, and I'll link one video down below about some alternatives to Ozempic where you're not going to lose your muscle. All right, I stepped away for a little bit to feed Fiona, take her on a little walk, get some dinner myself. So it's been a couple hours since I was just filming. And so the lighting might be a little bit different than a couple seconds ago. But where were we? Getting back to how weight loss can make you fatter. I can't believe I'm saying that, but it can be true. So we've been talking about muscle. Let's specifically talk about why would your body be burning muscle instead of fat? And let's be specific here. We're talking about those old styles of losing weight, the calorie restriction and the more cardio. So yeah, why would our bodies turn to eating away at the muscle? The old school way of thought was your body's burning the muscle, right? Have you heard this? Your calories are so low that your body is burning muscle for energy. But that's just not what's happening. But what's really happening is your body is constantly adapting muscle mass to reach different demands. So basically your body is only gonna keep as much muscle and strength as it thinks it needs. But why would it do that? I mean, you've probably heard me say in other videos that muscle is expensive. We work hard to gain muscle and to have lean muscle mass. And believe it or not, your body does not want you to burn more calories than is necessary. So your body is just really amazing. It learns how to be more efficient. If you're doing a lot of cardio that's burning a lot of calories and you're not eating enough, your body actually doesn't have any reason to want to keep the muscle. And I've said this in other videos, to do cardio, your body doesn't require a lot of muscle. What it requires is stamina. So if you keep doing the cardio and cutting those calories too low, your body is going to meet the demands that you're putting on it. So what your body is saying is, we're burning lots of calories through cardio, we need more stamina. This is when your body is going to dip into the muscle. So really, your body knows it's burning a lot of calories. It doesn't want to burn as many calories, and so it dips into that muscle. So basically, You're working hard, you're burning through lots of calories, but you may want to be burning lots of calories, but your body doesn't. So what it will do is pare muscle down. And I promise you, this is not just a theory. There are lots of studies now that say if you do a lot of cardio and you cut the calories down, up to 50% of your weight loss comes from muscle, most of the time. So imagine if you continue on this type of path, or you do this little roller coaster of losing the weight, gaining back, losing the weight, and every time you're losing 50% of the muscle. This is really, really unhealthy for your body. And here's why this is so crappy, because every time you yo-yo diet, you slow down your metabolism a little bit more every single time. Yeah, so some of you out there probably are thinking, oh man, did I fuck my metabolism? Because if you want that scale to keep going down, you've got to eat less and less. And then you're losing more muscle and more muscle. And that is bad, bad, bad. And I talked about this earlier. Muscle is protection. You don't want to be losing the protection, what it's meant to do for your body. So essentially, through that type of weight loss, you are getting fatter and you're getting more unhealthy. So one of the things I focus on with my clients, even if they're on a weight loss journey, is really building muscle. And what this is going to do, even if you think you have a really slow metabolism, is it will gradually, slowly build your metabolism back up. But you have to be patient. So you've got options. If you want to lose weight, you can calorie restrict and do more cardio. That would be the wrong way. Or option one would be eating into that muscle, but option 2 would be building up the muscle as much as possible, eating lots of protein to help preserve the muscle that you build up, and not worrying about the weight on the scale. Option 2 all the way. And which one's gonna get there faster? So you might pick option 1 because you want to get there fast. Everyone is looking for the quick fix. But option 2, it's going to take a little longer. It's going to take patience, like I said, but this is what's going to help you and make you healthier in the long run. Number 2, you're going to be fit and fabulous and strong. Number 1, you'll lose weight, but you're going to be fatter. And if you do go with option 1, because I know a lot of you out there, you do like that quick fix, but if you go with option 1, eventually, if it hasn't happened already, your body is going to burn calories less effectively. But if you love that battle, move more, eat less, plateau, move more, eat less, plateau again, and it goes on and on and on. If you enjoy that battle, go for it, but I don't think you do. And this always gives me a little bit of a giggle, because the people who do it the first way, option 1, yeah, they lose the weight, but when you take off the clothes, you're flabbier than you were before. You just have lost that muscle. And muscle looks good. You guys want that. I know you're always asking for that lean, toned look. And the way you're gonna get it is by building that muscle. And if you wanna lose that muscle and you want that, that skinny fat look, then you know the way to do it. But it's a vicious cycle. And trust me, I have heard it all. I have heard the people who lose the weight option 1 and they say, but Regan, I feel so great. I have more energy. My clothes fit, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't last. Especially if you keep hitting plateaus and breaking through those plateaus by moving more and eating less, eventually your body's going to start to feel worse and worse. So don't hold on to that great feeling thinking that that's going to last, because it won't. But if you do it the right way, it will last. And it won't just last a month or 2 months or 6 months or a year. it will last a lifetime if you do it right. And the other thing that happens with option one is you lose sight of how important the macros are. So if you just keep calorie restricting, you're not going to get enough protein to help fuel those muscles. I've done some videos on this and I will link them down below, but you've got to try to at least get, and I'm talking the women out there, 100 grams of protein a day. I shoot for my body weight in protein, and actually I get that every day, maybe even a little bit more. Listen, I know if you keep that calorie restriction cycle, you won't get enough protein, and that's another way that muscle is just gonna go bye-bye. And the other thing with the macronutrients and the micronutrients is your body is just not gonna function the same way if you do not get what your body needs. And again, it's deceiving because initially, right after the weight loss, you are going to have that boost where you feel better, but it's not going to last if you keep that caloric restriction going. So I love this topic of the macros and the micros. So let's stay on this for just a little bit longer. It is absolutely essential for your body to thrive to get protein and fat. Okay, so let's just say, for example, you're on a 2,000 calorie diet and you're getting all your macros. That's your carbs, your fats, and your protein. And you're also getting your micronutrients, which would be your vitamins and minerals. And those, like fats and protein, are essential. Your body needs vitamins and minerals. All right, so let's cut that diet in half. So instead of a 2,000 calorie diet, you're going for a 1,000 calorie diet. This is 1,000 calories in a day, and I actually know people who only eat like 1,200 calories or less. Anyway, so you're cutting all those micros and macros in half. And why is this important to consider? Well, the average person is macro and micro nutrient deficient. So you're eating less and getting less nutrients on top of it. So what's wrong with that? Because nothing is going to make you feel worse if you are deficient in certain vitamins or minerals. There's so many bad things that can come with deficiencies like this. Bone loss, anxiety, depression, like the list goes on and on. And we'll add hormone imbalances and skin issues. Sometimes your hair can fall out. I mean, the list goes on and on. Yeah, so if your micros are too low, it's not good. But what can be really even worse is if your protein or your fat intake is too low, things can go sideways so quickly. All right, let's talk about the restrictive diets a little bit more. So I know a lot of people who swear by 1,200 calories or less, but it is going to be nearly impossible to actively hit the amount of protein that your body needs at such a low caloric deficit to maintain your muscle. And trust me, if you're already on 1,200 calories or less, you've probably messed up your metabolism a little bit. And the other things that you will totally lack if you're on a calorie restricted diet like that, that's a significant caloric restriction, is you're probably not going to get enough fiber, definitely not get enough protein, not get enough healthy fats, not get enough B vitamins, what else? Not get enough iron. Yeah, there's a lot. And if all these things are low, including like magnesium and did I say vitamin B? Did I say vitamin D? All that stuff, if that's off, it can throw off so many important things like sleep being number one. And also, if you do work out, you're probably not going to have the energy that your body needs to push hard enough to build your muscle. I say this a lot, but ladies out there, midlife ladies, we have to strength train and we have to use heavy weights. We want to go to failure. This is how we're going to build the muscle. When you were age 35, that's when you had the most muscle. And from age 35 on, for us to keep the muscle, we have to work really, really hard. I'm not talking bicep curls with 8s and 10s and, doing 20 reps. I'm talking heavy weight where 5 to 8 is really hard. And then what you can do is after you do your 5 to 8, then you can drop down a little bit and bust out maybe reps of 8 to 10. That's the way you're going to build the muscle. But if you are lacking in the macros you need and the micros you need, you're not going to have the energy to work hard enough. So it's ridiculous to think that your body is going to preserve muscle and burn fat if you're not fueling it properly and with enough calories. The other thing with option 1, which is that caloric restriction and just keep moving the body, is it's just not sustainable. I know people out there are going to argue, I've been on a 1200 calorie diet for this long and it's working for me. Yes, maybe you've stayed the same weight, but have you lost fat or have you lost muscle? That's something that you should get checked out. So I hope that I have convinced you to go with option 2, where you're not going to eat into the muscle. We're going to try to build the muscle or at least maintain what we've got. Eat tons of protein, making sure you're getting your macros and your micros, not being in too low of a caloric deficit where you're going to eat into that muscle. Can we all agree this is the way to do it? This is the sustainable way. This is for a lifetime of being healthy and fit. All right, so how do we know where we're supposed to be without just popping on a scale and measuring it that way? Well, I am going to suggest to you, and I'm going to suggest this to all of my clients, going out and getting a Dexus scan. It is a perfect baseline for your health and fitness, and it has nothing to do with the number on the scale. It is a simple scan that's completely painless, and what it's going to measure is your bone density, the amount of fat you have, and the amount of muscle you have. So a Dexus scan is considered the gold standard for measuring bone density and all around body composition. So I will link the website for Dexus scan down below in the description. They're all over the country. I don't know if they're all over the world, but I will soon find out. But I will link that down below, and there's probably one close to you. Not sure if insurance pays for it, but it's not very expensive, and it is a great baseline. So you can ditch the scale and we can measure your body composition this way. And here's your baseline. I would much rather be measuring my clients' muscle mass and fat mass with a scan like this that is accurate. And this way we can go by those numbers rather than the number on the scale. Are you guys with me on this? I know this is the best thing that you can do. I am here for you. I want to help you out on your fat loss journey, and I want to ditch that scale and stop just worrying about that number and not just trying to lose weight, but to specifically lose fat and change your body composition. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, make sure you ring that bell notification so you're the first to know when my videos come out, and what else? My name's Regan, this is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF. I will see you next Thursday.